Hello and welcome once again, YouTube fans and friends. I am so happy to be with you here once again in our favorite game, U-boat. And we are joining once again here in the very latest, the long, wild, awesome, fun adventure of the crew of U-552 and the Devil's Dancers. Schmidt, knock knock. I don't want to hear it, I'm going to sleep. Go away. What's going on, boys? Yes, we're doing fine, now go away. Well, hey, I'm trying to lift the spirits of the men. Cos, you were with me, right? Cos. Hey, Schumann, knock knock. What? You can't. Oh, what? Hey, Schumann, knock, knock. Holy hell, you men stink, you know that? Yeah. Tell it to your mother. Krage, don't bother me. I'm on watch. Just leave me alone. Lorenz, come now. All I wanted to do was talk about your sister. Keller, you have a sister too, right? Krage, go away. She's pretty, if I remember right. You want to talk about her a little more? I do. Hey, Sandmutter. I'm sorry. Sorry. Great opportunity right here, right now for me to suggest you please hit that thumbs up, like button if you like this content. That really helps me out. Subscribe to my channel. I'd love it if you did that. And then hit that bell notification to find out when I drop new material. We're just now minutes away, picking right up where we left off. A bit of a clumsy U-boat Wolfpack attack on an enemy allied convoy that included an aircraft carrier. We lost 2 U-boats. I was the lone surviving U-boat here, the crew of U-552, and we took on board some stranded countrymen from one of the other sunken U-boats. Did manage to leave the scene with 3 sunken allied enemy ships, and one of them, I think, was that enemy aircraft carrier that we were so focused on coming into the attack. We've made the decision to continue the patrol in our originally assigned patrol sector. We have 3 more torpedoes, plenty of ammunition for the deck gun you see right in front of you here. Plenty of fuel, by far plenty of fuel. We've been out about 20 days. We could stretch this another week or more depending upon how dry the area is, how many enemy contacts there might be. It might be some time before we make contact again. Of course, as the patrol develops, I'll keep you updated. And so here we are, headed back to what was our original assigned patrol area, and you can see the pattern that I've laid out, which we'll use as a guide. Well, we've sailed on into the late evening hours with the wind really kicking up. Quite a storm out here. Probably a restless night for plenty of these sailors aboard U-552. Absolutely want to make sure that that is closed on a stormy night. And on a stormy night, we're nearing lights out here. Try to get some rest tonight, huh? Yeah. All right, Captain. You men, sleep tight now. We will need you tomorrow. I'll only be a moment, man. Krage, since he's got to stay out in the weather on watch, is going to get himself bundled up. Back up he'll go. Alright, early wake up for everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Early wake up for everybody. Wake up, men. Full day ahead. Klug, Weber. Plenty of work to be done. Seeing this reminds me, as I'm walking through here, that it would be good to... yeah, it looks like we still have enough bread. Just take another look at the galley. Supply, the food. Keeping varied dishes is good, so for now anyway, we'll just add to our vegetable supply. We'll add some canned fish, but not much. Feel like worst case, I don't want to run out of food. All right, so there is something that was done in history. This was, as far as I understand it, it was done both to kind of fend off boredom. It was there to maintain discipline among the crew, of course, maintain education and training throughout the course of time. And that is to send the boat on a crash dive and run a test. And have everybody get into the battle stations, get everything down, go, go, go. Test crash dive, man, test crash dive. Get on the damn depth steer, somebody. We're missing workers on the depth steers. I think we're getting better. All right, guys. Okay, I think we got it. And down we will go. Good job, man.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
Well, now Horst says that he has heard something, a propeller noise. All right.
150.
Whoa. Okay. Huh. Wow. So, looks like we have another convoy here. Wow. That's a lot of ships. So, what's our range here? Looks like roughly 37 kilometers. I'm not sure precisely which direction she's going, so I'm going to kind of just head right at it for now.
Kurs setzen.
Jawohl.
And keep listening. And see where she ends up here maybe, you know, 15, 20 minutes from now.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
Oh boy, here we are. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright. Alright. They're going to be crossing us right to left. So this looks like we got a ship here.
Der Marine hat Tradition in meiner Familie.
Got another one here. I'd say they're right about in like kind of this area here. I'm gonna bring the boat up.
Tanks anblasen.
We got a couple of, well, it looks like we might have a tanker and a freighter here close by. Shit, we may be able to just go ahead and take a run at them and be done with it. Except, one more time, man. Here we go. We will be coordinating Wolfpack attack on a convoy. All nearby U-boats called to travel to meeting coordinates, and there you have them. Convoy is expected to arrive there 31st July 1941 at 07:23 from the direction of 255 degrees, so we'll be headed, looks like east-southeast-ish. Ah, no. East-northeast. Okay. Yeah, to intercept its general northeasterly direction. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and make our way to our rendezvous. How many damn Wolfpacks is this now? It's one after another here for us. Oh, I don't know. You know, the Kriegsmarine trusts us. We have quite a few exploits, man. Yeah, the Kriegsmarine's most trusted U-boat crew. That's us. Yes, all you cowardly men, write home to your mothers about the crew of U-552. Hey, you men, looks like we making some progress in Russia. What do you think, eh? Long live the Reich? Yeah, indeed. It's good to see German men getting the best of it, though. Does anyone miss home? It's been a long time since I've even thought about a woman. Well, I take that back. I think about women every day. Oh, admit it, you think about women every minute. Don't we all? I swear I'm on a boat full of wimpy sailormen. This may be difficult to tolerate. Yeah, alright, so here's our convoy bearing off well to the rear. Part of it. That's probably Just one ship out in the lead that we can see, or way off on the edge of the convoy. So Maya, Marlene Dietrich, German-born American actress and singer. I have to say, controversial subject, I know, but I have to say I love her movies in the U.S. And I will say, her exotic looks too, eh? Anyway, keep at it then. Beautiful day to work with here. An historical perspective on recreation on a U-boat from atlasrepropaperwork.com. Credit where credit is due. During the war, card games were played by many soldiers of all armies. When on the front lines or in the barracks, or on the boat in this case, they spent many hours playing card games to kill time. German soldiers played skat and quartets. Quartets is a card game which is played with the aim to win all the quarts, the sets of 4. The game was invented in the Netherlands, where it is known as quartet. Each card usually has a number and a letter, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, in the top right or left corner of the card. The cards are shuffled and dealt evenly between all the players. The player to the dealer's left starts by asking another player if they had a certain card, which would help the player create a quart. If the player does have the card, then they hand it over. If the player doesn't, then it becomes his turn to ask. When a quart is created or a complete quart was dealt, then the cards creating the quart are placed in front of the player. The game ends when all the quarts have been created. The winner is the person with the most quarts. So, do you have a 1B? No. Hey, you over there, do you have 2C? No, doesn't look like it. Which one of you has a 4D? Certainly worth noting, of course, we've got this wolf pack we're joining so soon after we finished up the last one. Looking at my mouse pointer here, the date and time, it was just a day and a half ago that we were with the last wolf pack attacking a convoy with an aircraft carrier. 2 of our friendly U-boats got sunk in that attack. Schmidt, any friends out there? Can you hear anyone? I can't see anyone. Nah, nothing yet, sir. Maybe we're the only ones who answered the call. No. No, nothing. We are quite a bit later into the evening here, and there's still no sight of any buddies. We are directed to wait on the convoy at this location in any case, and I, of course, dread that nobody answered the call. Well, so be it. We'll set an intercept course. It's going to be a weird one because we're going to basically be coming straight at it. So I'm going to do it kind of like, yeah, kind of like this. One thing that's worth noting here, check my mouse pointer, is the time. So the HX convoy is on its way. It will take 8 hours to get to our position. I honestly don't want to give it that long. so that we can make this attack in the middle of the night instead of during daylight hours when things are more dangerous. Yep, I see him. A little difficult to make out in these waves with this observation scope, but it's the only one I can get the lighting right on with the night vision, so to speak. And you got the little puffs of smoke out there. Let's come to starboard a bit.
Legen Sie den Kurs an.
Bestätigt.
And we'll surface the boat.
Tanks anblasen!
Alarm! Feindlicher Zerstörer in Sicht!
Destroyer. We're gonna get our guys ready.
Feindlicher Zerstörer auf 9
Another
Uhr.
destroyer. There's a freighter.
Legen Sie den Kurs an.
Ei, ei, Herr Kaloi.
I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna come right at this thing. I'm gonna go to deck awash though. This is where it starts to get a little tight, y'all. This is where it starts to get a little tight. Come on. Let's give it just a couple more seconds here.
Kurs auf diese
Good.
Koordinaten setzen.
Jawohl.
Shit. Coming right at that thing. I need to cut in front of it. Keep
Kurs
coming
auf
left.
diese Koordinaten setzen.
Zu Befehl.
We're gonna speed it up a bit.
Schneller, schneller! Wechseln auf E-Motor.
Drop the periscope depth. Here I think we have an Empire Tower that appears to be closer. Of course, we're remaining very wary of this dude, who is now passing off to our rear. Boy, I think these two look like juicy targets. So, let's refigure range on him. I mean, their course we already kind of have figured. All right, course is 7-4. Speed 13. On the C3, course 7-4. Speed 13. Always, 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 always. Gotta keep an eye out. That guy. He's just about too close for comfort, but I think we'll avoid him. suppose I would wager this is pretty much going to be a milk run from here.
Schneller, schneller!
We're going to fire at the furthest target first, give it a minute, and then fire at the closer target. 3.4, good. Get our T2 ready.
Rohr 4, bewässern!
7.3 meter drop. We'll go ahead and set it for 5.5.
Los!
Away she goes. Cool. A T1 as she's coming right in front of me here.
Rohr 3, bewässern!
5.5 looks good for her too. We'll keep it on a relatively slow speed. Bang.
Los!
And we'll see what happens here.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. Dreißig Sekunden. Treffer.
Nah.
Höhenbruch. Sie sinken.
Oh
Feuer an Deck.
boy.
Feindlicher
That was
Zerstörer
fast.
auf 2 Uhr.
All right. Come on. Let's get
40
this other
Sekunden
one.
bis Torpedoeinschlag. Feindlicher Zerstörer auf 2 Uhr. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Damn. We missed. Or it's a dud. Shit. Send in confirmation of at least that one kill. In hopes that nobody sees it or picks up the radio message. Yeah, alright, so we're good. Okay, there's a destroyer looking for us. Shit. Oh, okay. They're waggling now, too. Yeah, that's gonna make getting a hit with a torpedo that much harder. We're gonna come right down the lane. Right through here. Very slowly, we are going to take it down to 100 meters, and I think we're just going to get out of here. Woo! First look at the map in a minute, and good solid sinking there. Happy to have it. Just, I think, going to pop out the back of this convoy, disengage, and that'll be that. Good. Pump water out of the boat. Don't have to worry about the sound. Honestly, I have to say that I think we've sunk well over more than enough. We're gonna go silent mode. I'm gonna bring it to all stop. That right there is a destroyer for sure. Or that is, maybe. I think those are all just freighters that are moving faster. Okay, they're passing over us now. I think I might want to take her.
150 Meter.
Down to 150. Sounds like they're not out there anymore. We may be in the clear, boys. It certainly smells like someone shit their pants in here. Which one of you did that? Seriously, it smells terrible in here. Whoever smelled it dealt it. Oh, stop looking so worried, Bender. Everything's gonna be fine. Now, I'm coming back up periscope depth. Alright. Here we are. Yeah, there's our destroyer friend off to our starboard beam right here. We'll wait for him to clear off to our aft and probably wait, a little while, and then we're going to come up. I don't believe the sun will be up by the time we hit the surface, but after we do, we'll kind of break contact, spin around, and then start heading for home, man. Successful attack. Feels pretty good, man. Good work, man. Good work up there, Gange. You did well, Kluk. Way to keep an ear out. Man, all of you, very well done. I think that'll pretty much be that for this patrol. Frankly, we've been out long enough now. 23 days. 9 hours. And it'll take us probably 2 or 3 days to get back to home base. I'll look forward to looking back at what it was I accomplished on this patrol. I suspect we will be going home with plenty of accolades, plenty of attention. I suspect this will be considered a successful patrol. Thank goodness for these devil men. It has been quite a patrol. I must say, it will be good to be back in La Rochelle. What a long patrol. I would be glad to hit the tavern back in La Rochelle. I wonder if that lady is still there. She was, very pretty. Brunhilde? So, something that we can do as we are making our way back home here is to get another research project going. We were working on relocating our milk cow here to this chain of islands to keep us in resupply range when we're kind of out here. Next, what do we want to do? And so I always arrive at snorkels. Some of the Dutch submarines that we captured use a curious device called by them a sniffer. It's a piped system that allows them to use diesel engines while staying at periscope depth. As the danger from Allied aircraft increases with each passing month and surface of the seas becomes too dangerous to operate for the U-boats, this technology may prove to be vital. Our submarines would not have to surface that often. We are already working on the adaptation of this technology to our U-boats, but advice from experienced officers serving on the U-boat would help to develop it much faster. Now, look, I'm just going to say that snorkels are a game changer. Total game changer. I want snorkels. Something we could get done quickly is Accumulators 1. There's ongoing research in Hanover that could potentially improve the effective capacity of accumulators on your U-boats. Presence of an experienced officer would greatly speed this research up. So, kind of conversely to snorkels, this gets us a little bit more battery life if our boat stays underwater. And it really would only take us 12 days to complete this research. Then we could begin research on snorkels and just let it take as long as that takes and see how our game experience kind of changes. I think that's what I'm going to go with. We'll start with accumulators. We'll be using Andreas Ortel as our research officer. We happened upon him as a reward in one of the missions that we did earlier in our experience, and he has the connections skill. The officer meets all class requirements for the missions in the headquarters. So if you need an engineer, Andreas Ortel can handle it. We'll take it. U-552 returning home to La Rochelle now in a fog here on the early morning of 2nd August 1941. Many weeks at sea, much to celebrate, accommodations to come, comforts in the city of La Rochelle as well as the men of U-552 and the Devil's Dancers make their way back into home port. La Rochelle beckons, welcomes. Whew, man, oh man, what a long time at sea. We're going to go ahead and go get our debrief. The Admiralty deeply impressed by our last patrol. Solid work, Captain. Max Schmidt gets a U-boat war badge. Very good. Siegfried Krage gets a Iron Cross second class. An Iron Cross first class for Krage. Oh, wow. Somebody's going to get laid tonight. Krage is gaining points toward his German Cross and Gold. George Weber gains points toward his Knight's Cross. And Captain Sixdeis, the Knight's Cross Thoke leaves much progress toward that. Quite a bit of tonnage gained for the Black Pit campaign. We're just about ready to mount, or rather top the first hurdle here. Get a milk cow and some budget. If we go over 50,000, that's something to keep in mind. Wow. 46,746 tons sunk. You are welcome. We get 8,000 reward, not much. 33 reputation, not a lot. It was, I think, an easier patrol in terms of difficulty. 25 days, 17 hours out to sea this time around, and you can see all of the targets that we sunk on this patrol. Wow. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. Next, we need to take care of our survivors. Free some survivors. These aren't going to be as valuable. That helps get us some extra budget. And folks, I think that's about going to do it for this video. I do really hope that you've liked this video. If you have, please smash that thumbs up button. That lets me know you like it. Subscribe to my channel, and please hit that bell notification to find out when I drop new material. I want to thank you for joining me for this journey and continuing to watch these videos. I will be continuing this story of U-552 and the Devil's Dancers in episode 5, which will be coming before you know it. Once again, anybody and everybody who's watching, thank you so much. I cannot wait until the next one. Later, y'all. There's no way that Captain Bank Sixdeis is going to mess around with the windy, crappy weather that we know is going on outside, because the boat is just going nuts right now. So you just kind of have to cope with boredom as a sailor in the Kriegsmarine. We could look back fondly upon something from not too awful long ago. It's always nice. 11th May 1941. This was a little after 7 p.m. Captain Sixdeis writes, "It's been a couple of days of pure joy, amazement, and reflection, along with daily tasks and travel. I must say, it was incredible to live through what I just did. I don't quite know whether to believe it happened or, well, it happened." We had spent the early morning period of May 10th shadowing the enemy ON convoy, picking off enemy merchantmen straggling behind the main body. We managed to notch 2 kills this way as we made our main approach. The bulk of the remaining convoy, having lost many of its escorts to our U-boat friend earlier, could only rely on what turned out to be 2 light corvettes for protection. Initially, I thought the convoy might only have a single corvette escort, but I turned out to be wrong. More on that in a moment. As I brought the boat forward and into the rear of the main convoy group, I elected to steer us southward, slicing through that flank of the merchant fleet. It was only seconds from when our periscope crested above the water that we noticed one of the sailors pull binoculars to his chest on the tanker, flash them back to his eyes, look directly at us, and then pointing presumably at our scope, which was still jutting maybe 1 meter above the water. Damn it. At the time, it meant we would attract the attention of that one escort we knew about, which was annoying. However, what we learned shortly thereafter was about the presence of another corvette to our south. Now, I may remember seeing this escort, perhaps even noting it in here. I need to go back and check that. But as I was preparing for my planned attack run, I must have forgotten if I knew at all. At all rates, I was able to chalk it up to a scare as, for the most part, things calmed back down quickly. As we managed to collect our bearings once again, Horst at one point shouted out, "2 enemy escort contacts, Captain. One is bearing 162, the other bearing 013. They had us boxed in to the south of the convoy with little choice, if we were smart, but to bear off in that direction and regroup for another attack run, taking more time and more fuel. At the time, our supply of air and battery power were both running quite low. In fact, Jürgen estimated at one point that we might only be able to last another 90 minutes submerged. We scrambled around the sub around then, shutting off power to certain compartments to save on power. We managed to achieve success and extended our battery life, according to Jürgen's figures, by around 3 hours. It bought us some more time to plan our next move, which turned out to, in hindsight, perhaps not be so smart. The decision was made to bring U-552 back to the surface and launch a deck gun attack on the corvette still moving away, just off our starboard bow. We would be opening the boat up to punishment from the escort, which still remained off our stern, also just off to the starboard of the boat. But we ended up thinking it worth the risk. If we could quickly land some good hits on the enemy escort to our front, we might be able to sink it before taking too much damage from the other enemy corvette behind us. As the twin dancing devils of the conning tower crested the waves, myself and 2 crewmen clambered up the ladder and out to the deck gun, while First Officer Weber was ordered to take a position at the flak gun, firing back at the rearward enemy vessel to at least keep it honest. It was not long before our highest hopes of success began to give in to doubt, as gunners aboard the enemy off to our rear spotted us, bracketed us, and then began pelting us with light cannon fire. The conning tower took a couple of indirect and one direct hit, badly mangling it once again. Doubt gave way to outright discouragement when enemy shells struck the hull of the U-boat. 2 particular holes in the bow became a pressing concern. Chief Bender was ordered to grab his flashlight and deal with one of them, while Chief Ganga dutifully volunteered to follow and handle the other. Much had depended on their speed in these repairs, because as they did their work, and as I continued blasting the enemy corvette off our bow, and still at quite long range, we were also continuing to take hits to the other parts of the ship. First, bang, engines are damaged and the boat begins to slow down. Then, bang, lights across the entire boat go out, and both main power stations are wrecked and nearly destroyed and inoperable. At that point, things began to feel a little desperate, and I would only say here, began to feel a bit of a panic enter in. However, Chief Ganga was quickly able to pound out repairs to his bow leak and rush back to battery room number 2 and get the main tower of the rear of the ship fully operating once again. Throughout all of this, the diesel engines were still operating miraculously, but we were not able to bring the boat up to proper speed for a getaway. It was at this moment the deck gun railed off one last armor-piercing round, and the call went out, "Enemy ship is sinking!" It was a massive cheer from all the men with me on the deck gun, one of them even nearly falling backward into the ocean. I almost lost my hat. We collected ourselves, and I ordered the men back up into the conning tower and down into the boat to help pail water into the bilges and out of the boat. It was frantic work, as the holes in the bow had let in quite a lot of water. However, it became only a matter of time before all necessary work was done, and the boat was mostly dry once more. From there, I kept both Chief Bender and Chief Ganga busy making repairs around the boat and salvaging spare parts as much as possible along the way. They were very skillful in their work, as were the men who assisted. It was quite a thing to see in and of itself. As that continued, I made sure to have our bearings right and our best accurate global position refigured. First Officer Weber stayed on the flat gun to harass the corvette to the rear, which, for some reason at that time, had stopped firing at us. It's unclear why, but the enemy warship's guns seemed to go silent for some reason shortly after we had sunk his escort friend. With nothing but broad daylight and an entire convoy off to the starboard to pick targets from, the plan was agreed to make toward the mass of floating prey and pick out a couple of targets of opportunity to fire our torpedoes at before being depth charged by the enemy corvette still pressing from the rear. As U-552 came about and turned toward the herd of enemy freighters, the escort corvette drifted off to the starboard of the U-boat, but continued pressing on hard, perhaps intent on ramming us if it could. We brought the boat down for our torpedo shots. We missed with 2 fish at one target and scored a hit with 1 fish on another. By the time we knew our results, we had already taken U-552 spinning downward toward the seabed once again and out of the purview of enemy sonar. Our enemy warship did just as expected and sniffed us out for a couple of depth charge runs, which we cleverly avoided, and then passed over us and off to our front. It was in that moment I knew we could quickly rise up, get back on the deck gun, and maybe send this enemy to the bottom with some well-aimed shots and be done with it. We took action. U-552 rose back above the waves. This time, First Officer Weber led a team of 3 crewmen out to the deck gun. The men scrambled out to the deck and onto the 88mm cannon as the enemy warship, surprised to see us, no doubt, began frantically attempting to come about. "We caught it with the pants down," said Weber as I laughed his way from the conning tower. When you attack a corvette, you should always attack it from the rear. They don't have any guns back there. It was the lesson we learned many months ago, and it was the lesson that popped back into both our brains in this moment. First Officer Weber and the men pumped 1 round into her, then another, finally a third, which sparked an almighty explosion, rendering the enemy craft helpless and tumbling for the bottom of the ocean. Once again, it was mayhem in celebration on the U-boat. Some of the men, including myself, cried a little and hugged a little harder. It was an amazement. Weber and the men ran back up onto the conning tower and got back to battle stations. With no escorts left to defend the enemy convoy and no nearby armed merchants, it was quick work from there. We identified Empire Aron off our starboard bow, closed in, and sent her to the bottom, also with the deck gun. So it did go a little as planned, as you might say. We steamed off to the north and east, back around Scotland and back presently into a pretty angry and annoying rainstorm. The boat is really rocking now, I must say. Might be worth checking on conditions. Boy, it never ends. Until next time, Godspeed.